Okay, Michael.
Okay, Jerome.
And welcome to Okay, guys. Yes, hello. We've got our second show. Here we are, doing some more stuff for you guys.
That
I'm
was
excited.
an exciting.
That's probably the most enthusiastic side you'll ever get. You know what? Because I prepared everything else other than the introduction.
Yeah, that's
but
the reason.
I did want to say that we've prepared. We actually recorded before we did the whole show.
Yeah,
we had the option of recording the jingle.
Yeah, and
we did do that.
We recorded the jingle,
but because we haven't bothered to find out how you do that,
we've just done it every time.
We've just done it both times, and it's worked pretty well. I mean, it isn't the most complex thing in the world, so.
I don't think you're not giving us enough credit, Jerome.
Well, I'm just saying. I think we've got away with that one, even though I've just given it away.
Yeah. Maybe.
But that shows our competence with these computers.
Maybe it's one of those things where because we're so good at it, we don't realise how difficult it really is.
Yeah.
I'm
going to go with that.
I like to believe that.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that.
Yeah.
So no, we're here.
We're the Bristol Revunions as ever. As I'm
always.
certain that everyone is listening to this knows.
I'm just trying to figure out how to get this on there, but it's
incredibly easy.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh. What you do, you take this.
Yeah, you take that.
You do that.
You do that.
And you do this.
Oh, that's not too bad. All right, and then on here,
outside of that little bit of tech. We're the Bristol Revunions. We had a workshop yesterday. This is the boring of Revunions.
Yeah, this is the boring bit that we'll talk about.
We had that.
It got interesting.
It got dark.
Yeah. And you came. It's still on my Facebook. That's brilliant. I've made the same classic mistake.
It's the classic Tim Thorne error.
The old Tim Thorne there. I'm still on Facebook, logged into the Burst radio station.
But so it got dark.
Yeah, it got really dark.
Dark
the
theme. The second half.
The theme for the workshop, or one of the bits, was
something
that meets something else. Yeah, and I mean, we started off. My group, for example, started off nice.
Last year we had Star Wars meets a dinner party, the Bible meets Big Brother, lovely, PC, perfect, no contentiousness, no.
Yeah, but this is something that we have built on and made a dynasty out of.
As the society has developed.
Yeah.
This is the.
I thought you were going to go on from there.
No, I know. You just this is the boring. Yes, this is
the boring bit, and that's what's so exciting.
I don't know if you were trying to insult us, but what you've done there is compliment us because the boring bit is apparently so entertaining.
It's much more entertaining than last week, in which we said we just had a workshop. Now we're actually going into detail.
The mother of God, Noddy was convicted of vehicular manslaughter.
That was my sketch.
The Irish potato famine.
Irish potato famine did feature. I mean, you have forgotten to mention the last line of that Noddy convicted for manslaughter sketch.
What was the last line?
It was Postman Pat, call him in. He's been a
paedophile. Postman Pat's a paedophile.
And I just sort of walked into the crowd, as you do.
And just left. So that's the boring bit.
It was a good workshop. I did enjoy it a lot.
It was a very good workshop.
And it was nice to see a good amount of people, despite the Bake Off final, which is something that's plagued us every year. Is the annual Bake Off decline.
Well, it won't anymore,
so
because obviously it's on Channel 4
so
no one's going to be watching.
Very good point. And on that note, that's a very good point, actually. And there were a few Bake Off themed sketches, which I did appreciate. There was, and I actually turned to someone halfway through and said, this should be about sort of the Channel 4, because the joke was that people weren't. It was really bad, or it was over the top. Yeah. And then the next sketch was just about the Channel 4, so I was one step ahead of the game. But it was incredibly funny. I really enjoyed them, actually. But yeah, no, we won't have that problem anymore, which is good.
No.
We have some news to talk about. This is going to become my favourite section, because
this is the genuine.
I actually love having a bit of time outside of as we've mentioned many a time, deadlines.
It's worth pointing out that both Jerome and I had deadlines due this morning, or Jerome in the case of 2 p.m.
2 p.m.
Two deadlines at 2 p.m. I had a deadline for a large essay in the morning. So the point being, this show is made with love.
Made with love and attention.
And not much else.
It's from the heart, not from the brain.
It is from the heart. It is certainly from the heart. Anyway,
I've got some news, and I've got a lot of news here that I just want to sort of spur at you. Yeah, and I haven't told you. Last time I told you about the news beforehand, but these ones are going to throw you a bit off.
Okay.
A bit off course, because you haven't heard any of these bits of news.
I have not heard any of these bits of news.
So I'm just going to. I think it's appropriate to start off on expanding from the story of the gorilla. Last week I spoke about the gorilla in the London Zoo. He escaped and he had 5 litres of undiluted blackcurrant squash. 5 litres.
That is so much squash.
So much squash. But obviously,
must have such a
Britain being Britain, we had to get experts in to analyse the effect of said squash. And would you like to know, Michael?
What else have they got to do than analyse the effect of squash on a gorilla?
Would you believe it? They've done it. There was a significantly big article in the BBC that commented on what the possible effect of squash would have been for the gorilla. And I'll tell you, despite the fact that the gorillas actually have diluted squash as part of their diet. That did surprise me. So apparently he just went back to his enclosure and just acted like nothing had happened. He would have been complete as you would, oblivious to the the situation, chaos around it all. But the experts have come out and they've said that squash would have given gorillas diarrhea. So that's what we know about gorillas.
What we've taken from this:
5 litres of undiluted squash gave him diarrhea, but he wouldn't have noticed, and he was, as I said, oblivious to everything that was going on.
Presumably as an expert, you've done probably scientific. You've done like a 4-year bachelor's, year masters, 4 or so year PhD. You've taken all your time to get involved in the zoological field.
Yeah.
And you get called in by the BBC and goes, "Yeah, that gorilla's got the squits."
I mean, I should have seen that. I could have just looked at his enclosure. That's significantly runny poo. But what really tickled me actually on this one is they obviously said, well, this is the effect for gorillas. What about the effect for a human? What if they drank 5 litres of undiluted squash? Do you want to know what it would have been?
Would you wee a lot?
No, it would be diarrhea. And sickness. So really extensive issues. Apparently,
thanks, expert.
I know. Thanks for that. I mean,
it's nice. Keyed Stephen Hawking last week. It's the fact that you give us advice like this.
Well, I mean, I just think it's brilliant that they compared the two, and honestly, for a human, it's not that much worse. No. Diarrhea, and they made the point, and sickness, which is very vague.
To be honest, I think if you drank 5 litres of anything, in fact, drink 5 litres of water in one sitting, you're going to feel a bit bloated.
I think you die. I think you can drown yourself.
You can definitely drown yourself. I'm not sure the 5 litres in one sitting would do it. It's a lot that it requires.
Yeah. No, that's my flatmate. That'll explain the schlid, because I got a haircut today. Actually, that's an interesting
that's the
thing that I can say. Hence why I was running late to meet you. Actually, guy was taking ages.
Anyway, this is very interesting for our listeners.
I just thought I really wanted to mention I've had a haircut. It's been a long time coming. I'm very happy.
It's been a long time coming.
The good mood that I'm in. It has. You didn't even notice. You didn't even say. I'm quite disappointed about that, Michael. But moving on from the tragedy of you not seeing that I've had a haircut. I like it when people point it out. It shows attention.
Yeah, that's good. So I didn't. Let's move on.
I've got a dilemma for you, and I said it to you yesterday at the workshop. And you still haven't cracked it.
No, because I mean, full disclosure, I have not thought about it since you sent it.
Which is fair enough. Again, we'll bring it back to the deadlines. I don't blame you at all for not thinking about it because of the fact that you had important university work to do. But I told Michael basically that in the news there was an article about a new university in California that is opened that has no teachers at all. Now, could you possibly sort of decipher why that might be?
Because the mission of the university is to establish the fact that teaching is in itself a very social construct, and knowledge doesn't require that kind of framework in order to be profligated amongst the masses.
I mean, that could be one way of viewing it.
Your microphone's much louder than mine.
Is it?
Yeah. According to this thing here.
No, it's absolutely level, mate.
No. But look at that look at the greeny ready thing.
Yep.
Right. If I speak,
there we go.
No, so you don't speak.
Go on.
That's what. Okay. So that's what happens. It's about normal. But look what happens when you speak.
What? And when I speak, I think it's fine. It sounds quite fine to my ears. Actually, one second. Let me just switch this around because my headphones are.
This is Burst Radio, ladies and gentlemen, prime time.
And that's called killing the momentum.
The momentum of the set.
I was going to say that is one way of taking right. You aren't incredibly far off.
Really?
It wasn't the most horrific suggestion. Let's just put it that way. I wouldn't say it was that. I was expecting something worse. But actually, the reason for no teachers is because this is a university. It's called 42. You know the answer to do. It's the answer to the meaning of life. Yeah, it's called 42 because it's the answer to the meaning of life. And essentially, it's just a school that does coding. It's a really boring answer, actually, think about it. But it's just a school that does. It's for coding. It's for people going into coding.
Right.
With software.
People going into coding, not codeine.
No, not codeine. I mean, it gives you some good effects. Codeine. It makes you
very different kind of school.
Very different kind of school. And I can sort of see why codeine as a school would work, but it's not codeine, it's coding.
Right.
And basically the idea is that they just promote peer support, and the idea of it is that it will always work in the sense that you'll problem solve between yourselves how to get around, the work that you have.
Right.
So
see, to me, what that sounds like is abject crap.
To some it may. I never ever
what they're trying to do there is say, this place that we're making you pay $50,000 a year to go to.
Yeah.
I reckon that you could run it as well as us. And so, you know what? I'm going to give you the exciting opportunity to not be taught.
I'm not sure if they pay, though. I have a feeling they wouldn't pay. I feel like
all it would then be is basically just a park.
Good point, actually, yeah. No, I realise where I've gone wrong there, because otherwise you just go there and be like, why am I here?
Why the hell am I here? If I'm not paying to be here, I have no investment in the situation, what am I doing?
Okay, right, good point.
Why has my life come to this? Where's my mother?
Let's just say, where's my mother? Let's just say it's about a few $1,000 for said university.
But
apparently it works. They've had other universities that are implemented elsewhere that actually have followed this scheme and it works. So.
Do you reckon it's just someone bet someone else, I bet you I can build a building, call it a university and get people to pay to go in it? And I'm not going to fill it with any teachers. I'm not going to fill it with any staff or faculty or equipment. I'm just going to build a large rocky shack. I'm going to go, that's a university. I'll see how much money I make.
Yeah, it could be that. I feel like they've really hit onto something there. But it's working. That's my point, and it's working.
Is it working?
Apparently so. It's made it into the news.
That's not what I mean.
And the photo in the article seems to suggest that a good amount of people go.
Yeah, but Fritzl made it into the news.
Okay, all right. I did want to make one last point on that, actually, is that it might be good because, and this is going to get very, very serious, but there are too many students out there who go to these private schools where they've got tutoring at however they like, and they're spoon-fed. And it's getting them to think themselves and solve the problems themselves.
But it's at a higher education standpoint, though. They're already in higher education. So at that point, it's already essentially late enough that all you're doing is you're increasing the disparity between their sort of secondary education and their further education. If that disparity is larger, it's only going to exacerbate the problem. It's a systemic problem to do with the schools in that situation. It's not something to be fixed with colleges and universities.
Of course. But
this is Revunions presents
getting political. Okay. We have our next bit, which I will do every week, and it's brilliant. I love it. It's called What's Happening in Wales.
So Wales is very.
It's an integral part of this news section. Because,
what's happening in Wales?
Well, I'll tell you, Michael. I looked up on the Wales dedicated bit of BBC, and apparently almost 250 people were caught speeding in the first 3 days since enforcement was introduced on the M4 around Newport. The variable speed limit covers the stretch from Junction 24, which is Caldra, to Junction 28, Tredegar Park. Fascinating stuff.
I genuinely stopped listening. So Wales is a very interesting country.
Interesting country. Again, this is leading on from the AI, artificial intelligence news that we spoke about last week.
Groundbreaking comment
that it could be good, it could be bad, which is revolutionary in my eyes. You didn't like it, but I thought it was genius. He didn't. Sorry. The robots, as you know, are being developed more and more to become more intelligent, and there is a robot now that can catch a ball in a cup. So you know a little, ball in a cup game?
Yeah.
It can do that.
Right.
And there's another one that can climb stairs.
Yeah.
Now those two combined signal the end of the world for me.
No, why?
catching a ball in a cup and climbing stairs.
Right.
Let's just look at the Daleks. One of their main issues was climbing stairs.
That's so actually, if you look at the
and otherwise it would have taken over the world.
If you look at the 1989 seal, Remembrance of the Daleks, it becomes abundantly clear that the Imperial Daleks did develop the technology to repulse themselves up the stairs, as in the end of episode 1, where the 7th Doctor is trapped screaming Ace at the door whilst Ace has been knocked out by the headmaster of the school.
I mean, I don't know that much, but I do know they do start flying at some point.
They start flying earlier than they start flying. There's the instance of it in the 6th Doctor serial. Which very embarrassingly I can't immediately recall the name of. If I get the name of it, I will say it again on air. But a great 6th Doctor serial which features the sort of the birth of the Imperial Daleks. At which point it is seen that sort of repulse technology exists. I'd say probably with the coming of the Imperial Daleks in Doctor Who television lore is where you start getting that repulsor technology. It's a common sort of myth amongst Whovians that are less well informed that moment in the Series 1 2005 episode Dalek, where the Dalek begins to climb the stairs, is in any way impressive within lore. It's just this what Daleks do, Jerome. So
okay, that was the most classic Michael moment I could probably ever get on radio. I did sort of doze off halfway through there.
Thanks.
No worries, mate.
Thank you very much.
I watched Doctor Who for a bit, got a bit scared. I think it was the angels that really creeped me out. Weeping Angels. Oh,
great episode. Very good episode.
Really clever.
Yeah, very
scary.
Well.
I was just going to make the point that 850,000 UK public sector jobs could be automated by 2030. So forget the immigrants.
Well, moving on.
That's not to say.
What I would point out is that being able to climb stairs and being able to put a ball in a cup, all it does is make you better than a cow. It doesn't make you better, that's still within the bounds of controllability. Can you survive a gunshot wound? Nope. In which case, you're fairly decent not having a chance. Oh, God, I skewered that sentence. You're going to have
fairly decent not of having
you're going to have a fairly decent go, and then you're going to get shot by the military.
Fair enough. I guess you're right then. I did think that ball in a cup and climbing stairs were the fundamental sort of aspects of taking over the world.
I would certainly say they're the building blocks to human discourse, but we're still working on intelligence.
Okay, all right. Let's hope that it's limited for the robots, because I was a bit scared for a second. News. I've got so much this week. It's I don't know whether it's bad. It reflects on me badly or good, but I enjoyed it looking up. There's the German city of Ulm. I'm sure you'll know a fact about this German city already, which I wouldn't be surprised by. Or do you not? Am I wrong?
It begins with the letter U.
You don't? Great. Okay, so they have the largest church spire in the world, apparently.
Oh.
Or is it Europe? Can't remember. One of the two. That's research for you. So the council were desperate to stop men from relieving themselves on its famous church because the persistent
it's eroding
is damaging the historic structure.
Right. Well, I mean, I think that as a historian.
What do you say to that? Bottom up or top down approach? What's the better way?
Well, I mean, bottom up, because if it's top down, then you have to climb a big ladder to do a wee, and that would be incredibly inconvenient. So obviously, bottom up is much easier.
Oh, in terms of the aesthetics, would you rather a bottom up erosion or a top down?
I'd say it's definitely bottom up, because I quite like the idea of an incredibly precarious granite gyroscope. Terrifying, really causing just mayhem in a town. I mean, I think that more just organisations of humans across the world should be overseen by large rocky gyroscopes, because I think it adds an element of chaos that really aids in many ways the element of human discourse that often gets stuck in patterns that then cause systemic issues in society, such as classism and racism. I think that large rocky gyroscopes, such as would be produced by weeing on a church, is probably a solution to that.
I'm going to take it from a more sort of simplistic view here. I'd be questioning if it's a bottom-up approach. Once you get to a certain point, you've got to commend the people that are sustaining the upness of said erosion, because you're drunk on nights out and you're managing to get someone on your shoulders to piss. I'd clap, applaud those people there. That's impressive.
Would you clap if you saw them on the streets doing it?
If I knew the contextual situation, yes.
I'm glad to hear it. What's the next piece of news?
I love the contrast in our takes on that. Is that you were sort of talking about the gyroscopes? Gyroscopes.
You know what a gyroscope is, don't you?
It's the thing that oh no, I don't. I do, and I don't. I was thinking kaleidoscope. Okay, guys. Actually, let me look that up because that is appalling. How do I not? I'm sure
that is really poor. Yeah.
I do know what. What is what is it? Spinning wheel or disc in which the axis of rotation is free to assume.
Yeah, so it's angular momentum means that it stays upright.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's similar to the operation of a bike, but it's done.
Anyway,
moving on.
I have no general knowledge. I saw an interesting piece of news, which is very much Brexit, but we're not going to go down that route.
No, we're not.
But it is. I just have to sort of get it out there. This is
fine,
the reason it's actual news.
Go nuts.
Marmite has been withdrawn from Tesco, and I just want to make the joke there that you're either going to love or hate that decision.
Right. Okay.
That was all I wanted to say that for.
It's worth pointing out, for the sake of genuine disclosure, it hasn't been withdrawn from Tesco. It was withdrawn from the Tesco website.
Sorry. So that is a very good point, Michael. Actually,
you're definitely louder than I am on that.
Am I? I'll try and turn you up. Which one are you? You might too, won't you? You might too.
There we go.
There we go. It's a bit better for you.
So, it hasn't. It was withdrawn from the Tesco website, and even then, it wasn't actually. There was a lot of protest about it, to the point where I think the actual practical application of what's happening there is not going to be noticeable. Everyone for context in this situation, I'm a Remain voter. Everyone, and at this point, really wants to just take absolutely any. I stubbed my toe. Europe would have stopped this. It's such an easy.
No, but there is no doubt that
they took away our Marmite.
That's what I'm arguing against. That's the main thing.
They did. That's just it's.
But that is the reason for it.
No,
Unilever was saying that the pound, the strength of the pound.
If it weren't for the fact that there was a link to Brexit in that article, people would not
care.
Would not give a shit. Apologies.
Apologies for that.
They wouldn't care because of the fact that it's only being withdrawn from the website. Who the hell shops for Marmite online? Who's thinking, I need some Marmite, best Google that problem, rather than just go to Sainsbury's?
Yeah. No, but I think they said also that the stock that was remaining in the supermarkets would just be let to sort of run. Or maybe I was wrong, maybe I misread it. Maybe that was just the case with online. It is
just Tesco, isn't it, in this situation?
At the moment, yeah.
Right, so just go
to Sainsbury's. It can get out of hand, Michael. Right. You don't know the sort of
go to Sainsbury's.
Future.
What do you mean I don't know that? Do you
know the ramifications that could follow?
Mr. What, like shopping?
I've been studying the possible impacts of Brexit on Marmite for years now.
And now finally it's come to fruition.
They never listened. I said to them, you wait and see. The Marmite will go. It will disappear everywhere. And they never listened to me, Michael.
Get out of my bedroom. It's 3 a.m.
That's where you'll get them. That's where you'll tell them. You'll get them when they least expect it. It's better than meetings and whatnot. I didn't see a problem with it, at least. That was all I wanted to speak about, was Marmite, because I love it.
But I do.
But I mean, now is the chance for Bovril to step up.
That is true, and Bovril is a beautiful thing.
It is. I actually really like Bovril. I was only introduced it to this summer, actually.
Nah, Bovril's great. Bovril is probably better than Marmite in most senses.
You know what? Yeah,
it's just harder.
It's not that much. It's not that much different, really.
Oh, it's meatier.
It's meatier, indeed. I just think I was used to the taste of Marmite, and so Bovril just surprised me in a sort of nice, unique, beautiful way. I'd only ever had it at football matches as a drink, so to have it
as a spread
was for me mind blowing, really.
No, I can. I mean,
so that's a message for you out there, for the Bovril fans.
That's the Revunions
Take your
message.
opportunity.
That's what we want to impress upon you. Yeah.
If Marmite isn't doing it for you, Bovril has to really step up to the plate.
If Marmite isn't doing it for you, though, then
spread onto the plate.
Just go and find a large, busy road and trust God to see what happens. Anyway, moving on.
Anyway, every week we have a. I love how most of our transitions will just be okay. All right, moving on. this last week we
Sand was our
we
theme.
had the theme of sand. So
So
this is a section for those eager listeners out there, or for the first time. Actually, no, this is for the first time listeners. Last week we had a song off where we have a theme. And we, Michael has to pick a song based on that theme, as do I. And judging from the chat box, or equally just as text message we send to our friends, we'll determine which song was the winner for the week. Michael last week had Sand.
Mm-hmm. That
was the theme he chose, and he had Nick Drake, Castles of Sand. Was it?
Clothes Made of Sand.
Clothes Made of Sand. Sorry, Castles of Sand. I feel like is another.
That's a Jimi Hendrix.
There we go. Oh, of course. That's where I heard it from. And I had Sandstorm by Darude, which I think clearly won.
Well, that's subjective.
We just gave it a draw because no one really gave us the vote.
No one's listening.
You voted for yourself as a girl called Liz,
true.
And someone gave me a shout out, and so we just said 1-1.
In any case, we're doing it again.
Due to the incredible success that it had. And the theme that I've chosen for this week is sleep, so another S. And we're going to start off, I think, with Michael's.
Yes.
Here.
Do you want me to say?
You can explain it, because I know that.
If anyone's listening, this is something that's very dear to my heart. So I'll explain the actual reason that it's linked to the theme in the image. The guy that's doing this. So this is a song by Matt Berry. So if you're familiar with the IT Crowd or Snuffbox or anything like that, the comedian Matt Berry, Mighty Boosh. Matt Berry, incredibly funny man. That's why it links to comedy. But also, more notably, he's a very, very talented musician, songwriter. He's released 4 albums and they're absolutely beautiful. He's playing Bristol on the 2nd of November, and I'm going to see him for like the 7th time. He's a really fantastic musician. He surrounds himself with fantastic musicians, and he's a fantastic songwriter. So this is a song from his 2nd studio album, Witch Hazel. And I'll explain why it is that it fits the theme after it's played.
Brilliant.
frosted up roots below the green sand deep, below the hornbeam roots. That's where the badgers do sleep. Deep as a solitary stone, in greys and crimson and greens, in slumber of blood and of bone, the badger lies still as he dreams. I hear one last slow breath underneath the beech tree oak. The smell of a badger's death in the ground leaves a mighty, and so in you it dies. On the trees the ash buds break. If you look
Lovely. I actually was about to turn that song off, and then Michael told me there was that xylophone bit at the end, which I'm very glad he told me there was, because it was a nice way to end it all.
It's if you've seen Toast of London as well, that's also the theme to Toast of London, which is based on a track of his called Take My Hand, which is based on a track that was written that was a 7-second segment from the show Snuffbox, which then became the track Take My Hand and Witch Hazel, which is the sort of the motif that runs through that entire album. I remember the first time I heard that track. This isn't particularly funny, but
go on, tell me about it.
It was listening to that album because basically watching this I'll try and shorten this story down. So
okay.
There's a beautiful show called Man to Man with Dean Lerner, which is based on an incredible piece of comedy called Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, which if you haven't seen, go out and see. It's so incredibly fantastic, beautifully funny. Man to Man with Dean Lerner is this sort of mock chat show that's based on the characters that are the actors in Dark Place. It's fantastic. Matthew Holness is one of the guys in it, who's a very, very funny man. Yep. Also a very, very talented guitarist. And has this character called Merriman Weir, who's this sort of folk figure who is, if you like folk, is absolutely hilarious, and if you don't like folk, is absolutely hilarious. And so I was talking this to my uncle, who's also a muso, the Michael Brennan the Elder, and he said that he had an album. I was like, what? And then it turns out it was actually Matt Berry. So I was like almost disappointed because I wanted to hear Matthew Holness's Merriman Weir kind of album, and I just sort of put the album on. And kind of, I got into it. I was like, yeah, this is a really good album. And that track came on, and I just remember it's like going, whoa! And I replayed it about 5 times, and then listened to the rest of the album. It's got a special. And the reason it's sleep related, this is the crucial thing. So the theme is sleep. That track is called The Badger's Wake. First obvious thing. Wake, sleep, waking from sleep. That's a thing. That's sort of
I was questioning for a bit why it was linked,
more notably, outside of the fact that it's the badger's wake, is actually it's not wake in the sense of sleep. It's a song about the death of a badger.
Yeah.
And in many ways, death is, in a fairly literal sense of the word, the ultimate sleep.
Can't argue with that. That is, I feel like you've got a very strong case for the tying into the theme there.
So what have you got, Jerome?
What have I got? I've got a really I want to say just before I do it, if people are actually listening, let's take that another way. For the people that are listening, if you can access the, well, I assume you can, because when you press listen live, you go onto it. So the studio chat box, just tell us the song that you prefer. Yeah. Preferably, there we go, another use of whatever, during this second song that I choose, so we can have a decision by the end of it all. Yeah. I just thought I'd say that quickly.
So this is Jerome's track?
So this is my track to start off with. Oh, okay.
Jerome.
Yep.
This is Sandstorm again.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?